a third discipline, inculcation of divine virtues. And the fourth one is called satsang, keeping the company of the truth, or taking care of our company that we keep. Okay, these four disciplines or the qualifications to be a student of God. So first, as I explained you, purity. We observe celibacy, that is physical purity, but if you go much more deeper in that purity, that begins in our mind. What type of thoughts do we create? And so we need to analyze our thoughts. Now we are very weak analyzing our thoughts because we are very busy analyzing others. So it has to be like I need to keep on analyzing my thoughts, and it is only our thoughts needs to be blamed for whatever feelings you have, because thoughts create feeling. Okay, so you can be in a happy situation and feel sad, or you are sad and you are in happy situation. Okay, or you can be in the sad situation and still you can feel happy. So this shows that to be happy or sad, it is in my hand. The thoughts that I create, it depends on that. Okay, but purity is much more higher than just being positive. So in that purity, purity also means like, how do you fast? When you fast, what is fasting? Fasting means not that I have to eat this and I don't have to eat this. Means fasting means you are taking an oath. You are promising for something, or you are creating or taking any determination, determined thought. Understood? So in that way, we need to have determined thought. That is called purity, where I, the soul, control all the organs of the body, and also the mind and the intellect. I take the charge. That is where purity lies. Okay, so that is the first pillar, purity. Okay, let's talk about pure food, pure diet. In food itself, um, has categories. We have a full video for that. If you understand Hindi, I will send you. It's about food, not non-vegetarian and vegetarian, but it is about healthy food or pure food. But today we will talk about pure diet. So food itself has categories. And so there are three categories. Pure, which means sato, rajo, and tamo. Okay, 100% pure, semi-pure, and impure category. Sato, rajo, tamo. Now, sato food, the category of the sato food has all the vegetables and fruits and milk and lentils and grains, etc. Green vegetables and fruits. Okay, that is in that sato category, pure category food. The second category is half. It is not considered pure and not so impure, but yet it is, it is half pure, you can say. And so these are the categories, what you call stimulators. They are the stimulators that stimulates your body. And so where, for example, alcohol, that is in that category, smoking, taking drugs, onion and garlic also comes in that category, stimulators, and some other radishes, kind of, I don't know what you call that in English, but kind of onion, but other radishes. And so they are in that second categories. stimulators of the body, that stimulates our mind and also stimulates our body. And the third category is tamasic, means tamo, impure food. All the animal products come in that category. Or it is whether it is chicken or even eggs. Some people ask, eggs are vegetarian or not vegetarian? Of course, it is non-vegetarian. Eggs and also seafood. Seafood is also not non-vegetarian. Okay, so that comes in the third category. Okay, all the animal products. And so, as a Raj Yogi, a yogi. Yogi means, even when we speak this word yogi, means sattvic, means pure, something divine. And so, as a Raj Yogi, and those who practice really meditation really need to have a peace of mind, a connection, experience the connection with the supreme light. We, as how we take care of our mind, our organs, our body, so in the same way we also take care of our food. And so in Raj Yoga we only take the first category food. We don't take the second and even the third one. We don't take, not even the second one. We only take the first category food. Now, while taking the first category food also, as I said, as the food, so the mind. So if I'm taking the first category food, so the mind. Okay, Sato, pure food, pure mind. But as the mind, so the food. So we also don't eat just anywhere, outside or wherever we go. We just don't eat anywhere else, because we don't know how the food is prepared, in what mental condition this food is prepared. So someone who is preparing that food, what is his mental condition, or what type of thoughts this person is having, what type of feelings this person is having, we are not aware of it, and so we don't take it. Yeah, so sorry. We don't take even any vegetarian food in the restaurants or at anyone's home, because we don't know their state of mind. And so, in early days or even now, when we go to the temples or churches and we receive any offering or prasad, that taste always different. And we respect that so much. Even a little bit we receive, that is, we respect it a lot. And it's not about that food and the ingredients used in the food, but it is prepared in a very high vibration in remembrance of God, and it was offered to him, and then it is given to us as a high vibration. And if you use the same ingredients or the same food, you go to the restaurant and you order the same food, it will not taste the same what you had in those powerful places. Yeah, because the person who is preparing there has no love for you. The more you eat, the more he will earn. So what are his thoughts is money made. That if you eat more, I will earn more money, more money. And the third thing, when you eat something from your mother's hand, still there is love for the children. And so, yeah, we avoid. It's up to us how much we need to avoid. And also when we are preparing at home, so it is advisable that you can keep some meditation commentaries, because that period, I don't know, it just takes 30 minutes or 1 hour preparation of the food. But that is very high time, very high time. It's not only that you are transmitting all your energy to the food, but it will be transmitted to all those in your family. And so this is the biggest role uh, the cook or the person who is cooking has. Okay, and so it is a responsibility. If I am peaceful and I prepare the food, I can make my whole family peaceful. And imagine if I am just watching something on the TV, not something good, there is always some violence and action and fighting and quarreling and all those things, and I'm as preparing the food. So you can imagine that what type of energy is being transmitted in the food. Okay, and so if I eat that food, that energy will be transmitted in me also, and I will produce the same energy. Okay, so we can actually, through the pure diet, that's the way we can purify our thoughts. And it's the easiest way through food. And we can influence others also. So yeah, we take first category food. Of course, we don't take the third category food, because as a meditator or a Raj Yogi, just for the sake of taste or a tongue or our stomach, first thing, we don't kill any animal. Now you will say we don't kill. It is available in the supermarket. Yeah, it's a chain and we are part of it. So we don't need to be part of it. Okay. So why we don't, you just imagine that from the time the animals are in the captivity and there is fear, so much of torture, of course, and health wise also, if it is in the so many big numbers, they are kept somewhere together, there is the death of any animals, there are infections, and the kind of food they are feeded, we don't know anything about it. And so in a simple word, if any soul leaves the body, even animal has a soul, so when the soul leaves the body becomes poisonous, and so we bury the body or we burn it. Okay. And all the dead bodies, I don't know, we have a ritual in India that if you go to a funeral and if you are around that dead body or if you touch that dead body, then you have to take shower. It means you have to clean yourself. Okay. And so it's not only that germs, physical germs, but it is a vibration also. It's not so good. You have to take shower, you have to get rid of those energies also. And so any dead body has to go to graveyard, any dead body. And so even if we touch a dead body, we have to take shower. But then we have to see how many dead bodies we keep in our fridge or a freezer, right? And what we are making, where we are taking this body to our stomach, which means we have made our stomach a graveyard. And in the graveyard, there is nothing divine. You cannot imagine something divine, something happy in the graveyard. The energy in the graveyard is not so good. And so when I make my stomach a graveyard, you can imagine what I'm going to produce. Not happy thought, because what I have consumed is fear, is negativity, or pain, lot of pain, a lot of torture, hatred, anger, aggressivity. And this is what I'm going to create, because this is what I'm putting in. So the first product and the last product, it has to be the same ingredients. So yeah, we avoid, but of course we don't talk so much about it. As I already explained, these are the precautions with the medicine. With the connection, these are the simple precautions that we can take. If we take, the recovery is fast. The third is inculcation of divine virtues. Even if we are not a meditator or if we are not even following something, it is always good to have divine virtues, to work with the values, to inculcate some divinity in our action, in our activities, in our behavior. But once we meditate, even you would we expect, if someone is meditating and he says, I remember God, or I meditate 7 hours or 6 hours, then naturally we expect him to be good, to be virtuous. Even the smallest mistake he makes, we will just say, oh, you are a meditator, no? How can you do this? Okay. So it is very normal expectations. So as children of God and as a meditator, as Raj Yogi, it is very important that we should have a chart of our own behavior. How much did I remember Baba? How much did I give sorrow to someone? Or did I give sorrow to someone? Or did I give happiness to someone? All the chart of my own self, the account I should have. And then any negativity, I need to replace it. So before changing anything, I need to check. There has to be checking. Without any checking, changing is not possible. So if I need to change myself, I need to first of all check myself. Check. Okay. The last one is satsang, keeping the company of truth. Now, satsang does not mean, spiritual gathering, going to this spiritual place and that religious place and singing some songs and just being together with other people and spending some time together and just coming back at home and we are as we were. No change. This we do every time. Every time we may be doing 3 times prayers or 5 times prayers, and this has been happening since many years, and yet there is no change. And so it is very important that we understand what is satsang. Keeping the company of the truth. Who is truth? There is only one truth. Or truth, the definition of truth is something that is not changeable, can be called truth. So what is not changeable? Soul is not changeable. Body is changeable, keeps on changing. The world keeps on changing. Every second by second changing. And God is also not changing. Means he's stable, constant. He's constant or ever. Right? So soul and supreme soul, they both are the truth. Truth. And that's why we call God is truth, because he's constant, ever pure. It's not that one day he degrades and then he recharges himself. No, he is ever pure, ever in his attributes. Okay, so keeping the company of truth means constantly keeping the company of the one who is constant, God. Staying in his company. Now, staying in his company means if you have a friend and you are in his company, what you will do? Most of the time, you will spend your time with him, first thing, right? In your day, you will spend most of your time with your friend. Second, you will communicate him. Most of the time, you will communicate with him only. If you have any problem or even any happy news, you want to just share with him because he is your best friend. And means everything you want to share with him. So that is called keeping the company. Okay, so it has to be, it should become the natural way. So now we are introduced to God and we know he is the truth and we can have friendship also with him. And so keeping his company means morning when I wake up, I can say good morning Baba or whatever you call Allah, Baba, God. You can say first thought should be connecting with him. Means good morning, Baba. Very easy, right? It means I am in his company. When performing any action, in his remembrance. Putting anything in the mouth, offering him. Not just once offering. No, even 10 times we drink water, we offer him. Night, good night. Simple, very simple. This is a very simple method to be in his company. And then whatever time you spend specifically sitting and meditating 30 minutes or 1 hour, morning, evening, that is different. That is very special time you are giving to him. But nowadays there is a fashion or a special fashion nowadays, that I have no time. I am busy. So if you are very busy, so even while you are busy, you can remain easy when you are connected with him. Okay. So while performing every action, while cooking and dancing and writing, and even if you're sitting in the bathroom or in your office, we can connect with him. We can remember him. We can talk to him. And these are the simple steps. I think that is the first step for meditation. That we involve him in our small activities. Okay, so that is the last discipline. And in this discipline, as I said, that we will talk in our last lesson what God teaches us. He has come and he is giving us the knowledge of Raj Yoga. So what is that knowledge? And so keeping the company of the truth also means studying. In the school we go every day. Then only we can understand the study. If we are connected with the teacher, when we are connected with the studies, then only we can study and get the reward. So same applies here. Again, I mentioned at the end, it's not the question of just 5 minutes or 3 minutes or once in a week or once in a month. No, it is continuous practice. Okay. So yeah, these 4 pillars are the pillars of our yogi life foundation of changing or transforming our mindset also. Okay, so I repeat it again: purity, pure diet, inculcation of divine virtues, and satsang. So in Hindi it is pavitrata, shuddha anna, divya gunon ki dharna, and satsang. Okay, let's have, time is up. Let's have 2 minutes of silence and then we'll see you on Monday with this last lesson. Okay, and if you have any doubts, any question, you can ask me. In WhatsApp also you can ask. Okay. Om Shanti.